and gentlemen, to bring to the podium the convener of C.L.E.A.N Conference 3.0 in the person of Olayinka Oyetunji. She'll be making her first presentation titled Navigating Career Curveballs. Can you do better than you are doing? I thought you are doing better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Please let's give our compare a round of applause. I know there's a lot she's still going to do for us today. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to say a very big thank you for all of you for making it here today, this bright Saturday morning on the 16th day of November for the 3rd edition of the C.L.E.A.N Conference. It's been a journey. 3 years is a long time, right? 3 years is a long time. So if a child is 3 years, that child is no more a baby. So we are no more babies. We are now toddlers. We thank God. I want to thank all our speakers. Thank you very much for coming this Saturday. I know what it means like to leave everything you're supposed to do and just spend time with us here. We don't take your time for granted. Special recognition to 2 of our returning speakers coming with special titles. Our compare is now a doctor. Last year she was Deborah. But now she told me, she said, my profile remains the same. Only the title has changed. I'm now Dr. Deborah. I said, yes, ma. Duly noted. And we have Dr. Odiri again. Last year she was Odiri. Now she's Dr. Odiri. You know, when I look at these things and, you know, people that are so busy are bagging, seriously bagging at us, I'm just like, we have things to bag. Am I correct? We even have time. We are not as old as they are. We have things to bag. Thank you for walking the talk, and we are inspired. And of course, the other speakers, when they come next year, we will now tell you what they've bagged. We don't want, so that we'll use that one to base them for next year. Before I go into my presentation, I want to thank God for the opportunity, because it's just by grace that, you know, we say we want to do something and we are able to do it. And I want to thank you for coming, because if you say there is going to be a conference and you don't show up, there will be no conference. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Clap for yourself for leaving everything. You could have been in 101 bed, you know, dancing your life out, but you decided that, I must invest in this, my thing called career. And I want to thank my husband. He's not here, but you see the recording. I'm thanking you. Thank you. Thank you for being a wonderful man. Thank you for always supporting me. You know, this morning when we were coming, he said, so you guys, you are doing your 3rd conference. I said, yes. I said, I remember the first time I told him, I said, I want to do a conference. I'm looking for venue. And then I went online and said different venues. And, you know, then we started going there to see what they look like. When we got to some places, my husband was like, you can't bring people here. You can't bring people here. Go and look for a better place. And I was like, He said, call Marriott. I said, Marriott. I had gone to a hotel, Intercontinental, We Baker, all the, you know, and they were calling big money, even though I like big things. He now said Marriott. I said, Marriott. How? But we just thank God that we are here today. And I just thank him because, he said, you kept telling me, I want to do this, but I don't know why I'm doing it. I want to do this, but I don't know why I'm doing it. Even though I still don't know why I'm doing it, but the vision is getting clearer. So I really want to thank him for always believing when he doesn't even know what I'm doing. A round of applause for yourselves for listening. So now to this morning, I'll be taking us on navigating career curveballs. And one of the things about, you know, this C.L.E.A.N vision is that we are building resilience in people. We are building what? Resilience in people. And this morning, I'm going to be talking about how to navigate career curveballs. Now, if you look at the picture on the screen, you will see a tree. That tree is the same tree, all right? The only thing that changes is that the color and the structure changes depending on the season that it is. And the reason why it is changing is that as the earth is moving around the sun and the temperature of the earth is changing, the structure of the tree is changing. And this tells us that in life, all right, everything is cyclical. Nothing is ever the same or ever permanent, all right? Life is in seasons. Same with your career. Your career is also in seasons. What that means is that it changes, and it is never constant. So if you want to build resilience in your career, if you want to be able to navigate the curveballs, you have to think of your career in that season type of thinking. And I'm not saying that you should have a short-term view about your career. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you should be dynamic, you should be adaptive, and you should try as much as possible to increase your staying power. If you're able to understand this analogy about life, that life is lived in seasons, you'll be able to understand what you need to do part-time in terms of your career. All right? Understanding the season will help you to know when you're transitioning, all right, when things are changing, and when you need to build your resilience. For example, we always know when the season is changing, right? When it's going to rain, we all see the clouds forming, right? And we'll seek for shelter and say, oh, it's about to rain. I need to, cover myself. The same way when you talk about your career, those curveballs, all right, are like clues for you to know that your season is about to change. And if you think about curveballs are, they are balls that are used for baseball. Okay? They are used for baseball. And the reason why they call them curveballs is because they are difficult to navigate. They have a deceptive movement, and they are difficult to navigate. It's difficult for anybody playing baseball to be able to hit that curveball because they have a deceptive movement. So you need to understand that when there is a curveball, then it means that my season is about to change. If you do not navigate it properly, you would have missed a chance to grow something, that is important to you. So, for example, nobody wears summer clothes in winter. We know that winter kills, right? And when it's winter, people dress for winter. Even by seeing the pictures, the season in which they take those pictures. If it's summer, there's summer, all right, because people dress appropriately. So what that means is that when the season is changing, it also gives us an opportunity to choose, all right? And as professionals, we must know what we want to choose. So if you look at this picture, you will see what we call the neutral curveballs. So things around, work pressure, missed promotions, missed deadlines, demanding bosses. All of these things are curveballs, and they are neutral. The reason why they are neutral is because you can change them to positive or let them remain as negative. So the ball is actually in your hands. That's why we see them as neutral. The truth is, the challenges will always come. So you have to develop a tough mind. If you listen to all these speakers here today, they will tell you of different stories of different challenges that they have faced. The challenges will always come. But as you go through this season, because we said seasons brings you the opportunity to transition for renewal. As you go through different seasons, they also give you the opportunity, they give you challenges, they give you opportunity to build new skills or learn new experiences, or even if it's just to learn a lesson. It's something that you can get in a career. I remember I used to have a boss, right? And she always put me on my toes. She's someone that showed me what I'll call Shege Pro Max. Like, when I'm going to work in the morning, my heart is skipping that, hey, I don't know what this person is going to do to me today, But there was something that I decided I was going to do. I said I wasn't going to leave that company because of her. Because if I did, I would have been doing myself injustice. I said, I'm going to leave this company when I want to, not because this person will make me to leave. And in that period when I was, she was serving me the Shege Pro Max, I learned humility. Sometimes you can be, no, I don't believe, I don't agree. All this, I shan't agree. She helped me to retool me. I learned humility, I learned patience, it's not all the time I learned emotional intelligence. Imagine if you want to discuss a project, you think twice. Okay, what kind of questions can this person ask me? Even though that journey wasn't interesting, but there was something to learn from it. So the curveballs themselves are not negative, all right? But there are two things. You have an option, and that's why we are saying you have the option to choose. It's either you respond or you react. So whatever you choose to do determines how they turn out. Remember, we said they are They are neutral, okay? Now, when you react to the curveballs, you are going to be putting yourself at a disadvantage. And what do I mean? If you are working in a place and you stop putting in your best because you miss a promotion, what you are doing is that you are actually destroying your career and by yourself. Did you hear me? You know that's tautology. I did that so that I can emphasize it. The reason being that if you stop putting your best at work because you feel they didn't treat you well, what you have done is to deny yourself of the skills, the experience, and all the opportunities you are supposed to learn. And what happens in life is that value is visible. Value is either recognized by your current employer or by another employer. So if you are at a place of work and you stop putting in your best, what you would have done is you have denied yourself that promotion in that current place, and you have denied yourself opportunities in another place. I hope you understand what I'm saying. You know, most of us go to work, you say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I work for somebody. You are not working for somebody. You are working for yourself. Because even though they pay you salary, there's something that you are also getting from that work that we never monetize, which is the skills you are building. When you are going, does the employer say, please, as you are dropping my data, drop my skills at the door? Do they say, as you are going, as you are dropping my files, drop my experience at the door? Do they say, as you are going, drop the relationships you got in that workplace at the door? Are they able to say that? So that is what you are building in that workplace. And it is important that you know that if you are in an employment and you feel that, these people have treated me so badly, I cannot continue to give myself. It will be double whammy for you to continue to stay there. The best thing is for you to find somewhere else to go. And another thing that I know we always do, we always expect to receive value from the place we give value. Life is not like that. Life is not that it is where I sow the seeds that I must reap from. The value can come from anywhere. The reward can come from anywhere. Your own duty is to continue to see that value. Like I said, value never goes unnoticed. I've never seen value go unnoticed. As a manager of people, I know the people that will go far and the people that won't. So if I'm working with someone and because they didn't promote you, start giving attitudes, you start coming late, you start giving poor quality work, I know you will not go far. But if you're somebody that, takes feedback, takes criticisms and find ways to improve on it, those are the signs that you will go very far. And these things that we are telling you about missed promotions, it's not something that I've not experienced before. There was a time I was supposed to be promoted from manager to senior manager, and I missed that promotion. And when I missed the promotion, even though I was devastated, nobody wants to, you put your mind to something, it doesn't come. But I promised myself that in the coming financial year, I will double my efforts. That was my own decision, that I'm going to double my efforts. And then I started behaving like the senior manager that I missed. By the time you start behaving that way, they already know that, this person is even more ready, for that promotion. However, if you respond using the 4 P's that I've said here, we talk about perspectives, process, patience, and perseverance. If you respond to those curveballs, then you'll be able to leverage them for growth. The darkest moments in your career are actually the most defining moments. So if you are going through any dark moment in your career now, honestly, it could be a sign that, your season is about to move to something else. And that's what I've seen in my own experience. As I'm standing here today, I'm proud to tell you that I've been sacked before. Yes, I'm sure that statement doesn't sound right, but that's the truth. And at the time when I was sacked in the middle of a financial crisis where companies were laying off than employing. Though I was devastated and it looked like, where am I going to get another job? But every day I wake up and I look at where I've come from, I always thank God that that thing happened. All right? And why do I thank God that thing happened? If I were not sacked, I wasn't going to get the career switch that I was able to eventually have. So when I was sacked, and of course, and I was sitting at home for 9 months and had nothing to do, the first thing I did was I completed my Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers exams. When I was working, I didn't have the opportunity. I completed it, and then I started writing my CFA exams. Writing the CFA exams, you know, the funny thing was I had already registered like 3 years before, collected the books without writing the exam. But the sack was like a jerk of reality that, madam, wake up. You can't just be going to work without having an ambition. And that was how I started my, CFA exams, completed my CIS. So no challenge is actually meant to kill you. No challenge is meant to kill you. And it's when it is darkest the most that you actually find, the opportunities. Now, if I think about reacting to the sack, I was sacked when I was on mat leave. And what did they sack me for? I didn't meet marketing targets on mat leave. I had the right to tweet justice for Olayinka, or go to court, and seek redress, right? Or start complaining and start whining or and pause my life because somebody said you are not good enough. But if I had done that, I won't be here today. I'm sure you know. Because even if you win in court, everybody will say, don't employ that girl. If you do anything, you are going to court. So your career is finished. Even customers will not want to. Even I say, okay, I want to start a business. They will say, there's a likelihood that you might end in court. So, so that is it. So when you face those challenges, you should be introspective and say, what can I get out of this thing? How can I get light out of this darkness? That actually should be your thoughts. And I talked about the 4 P's. The first one is perspectives. Your choice depends on your perspectives. Look at this glass. Someone will look at this and say, it is half full. And somebody will look at this and say, what? It is half empty. Is any of them wrong? No. It depends on what they are seeing. All right? So everything in your life is based on your mindset. It's based on your perspective. What you are seeing is what is inside of you. And that's why you have to be very careful about the things you think about. Some of us, if you look at our mental movie, mental movies, if they play a video of your mind, it's horror movie that is inside. There's no love story. There's no comedy. Even when they look at you, they greet you to answer his problem. And it's not like you're the only one carrying the problems of the world. If you know what we are going through. So your mind is very powerful. And in fact, they say that what you think about becomes who you are, becomes how you behave. If I look at you now, like now, if I meet you and I think you like me, the way I will react to you is different. Because I thought you liked me. Even if deep inside you don't like it, but because I don't know, my perspective towards you will be different. But if I look at you, some of you are going to office, you say, they don't like me. They don't like me. It's because you are thinking they don't like you. That's why they can never like you. Because it is what you think about that actually happens to you. So you have to be very careful of your mindset. And the only way is to cultivate the culture of developing a positive and growth mindset. That's the way. A positive and growth mindset. And it is intentional. And when you talk about a growth mindset, what does it mean? It's the one that lets you see challenges as opportunities. It helps you to persevere even though there are obstacles. And it helps you to celebrate effort even if you have not seen the end result. And it helps you to get inspired when other people progress. That's a growth mindset. And everybody here has to learn how to build that growth mindset. When you have a growth mindset, you'll be seeing this glass as half full. Even though 50% of this glass is empty, but you won't focus on that part. You will focus on the one that you can see as half full. If you are like some of us, that in life, life has shown us boss. By fire, by force, you will develop it. I think that's my greatest strength, is resilience. And let me give you an example. Imagine I'm in GSS 3. I want to go to SS1. There's science, there's arts, there's commercial class. You know, I don't know, Gen Z, I don't know whether you still have that, but my own time, that's what we had. And my mom advised me, out of genuine concern, that, my dear, go to art, so your antecedents shows that science will deal with you, because it's not like you've been doing well. And in my mind, as young as I was 13, what do they mean? I will do this science. And I went to do the science, and I scaled through. That was my first lesson, about resilience. Second lesson, I'm picking some. Primary school, no prize. Secondary school, no prize. First prize, ICAN. Third best overall. Come on. That's, clap now if you want to clap. Yeah. How many of you have won national prize before? Most of your prizes is your primary school. You were 10 there. You came first. You see? It's really pitiful. Yeah. Secondary school, no prize. JAM failed 4 times. Then you start writing ICAN. And ICAN wrote a letter that I came third. When I saw the letter, I said, hey, ICAN, go and check. Even my father said, are you sure they did not make mistake? I said, Daddy, me too, I'm thinking. And I called ICAN, please, before I come and become national disgrace, help me to check that is correct. And actually is correct. Wow. Second resilience lesson. So that is coming late does not mean it can't still come. And that was the biggest lesson for me. That something is coming late does not mean it's not going to come. And most times, when it comes late, it comes what? Big. So can you believe that? Somebody that is in failing. All of a sudden, they say you came third, national, come and shake hands with ICAN president. Come on, it's a great feat. Let me show you another one. After failing JAB 4 times, I failed CFA level 2 3 times. You know why I was able to do it? I didn't fail, but we've been failing for long. Sorry, I'm a Yoruba and I'm proud to be Yoruba. What it means is I've been failing for long. So my own was like, CFA, the day you say I will pass is the day I will pass, but that we leave this CFA. I will not leave it for you. We will struggle with it until we get it. Do you understand? So those experiences are what helps you to build what? Resilience. Failures, challenges are part of the process. It's part of the process. All right? It is what? Part of the process. One of the features of growth mindset, like I said before, is that you value the process and not just the product. The process that you are going through, from being promoted to one level to the other. The process that you are going through, from passing through an exam and saying, oh, I'm not a chartered this or I'm a qualified that. It is that process. And life also gives us an example, because when we are thinking about, we always take career and take it like it's not part of life. Think about life in itself. There is a process to when a child is born. Am I correct? The child stays in the womb for 9 months. If the child wants to come out by 3 months, you know that child is dead. Correct? There is a process to life. Life for humans is 9 months in the womb. And then the child will begin to walk, crawl. Before he walks, right? Before he starts what? Running. Am I correct? Some people are still looking at me like, this lady failed before. Oh, yes. The way they are still looking at me, oh, yes, it's normal. There's a process to life. And that process cannot be changed. There's nothing you can do about it. That process cannot be changed. If you find a baby, let's assume someone gives birth to a baby now. You went to greet them, 1-month-old baby, and the baby is running around the house. Will you stay in the house? Won't you run? Won't you pick race? Yeah, help me. I'm saying what I've not seen before. You'll be like that woman. Help me, help me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing for most of us. Your career is still in the womb. Your career is still forming. Yet, you want to start running. When it comes to the process of development as well, at least I have 3 kids I can talk about from my experience. No 2 people have the same growth rate physically. My daughter started talking at 9 months, and she started walking by like 9 months or 10 months, walking by herself. My son did not open his mouth for 18 months. But when he was going to start, he started with a sentence. He didn't pick his words. And I had another child. That one did not even crawl. He would just stand and hold the seat. Then sit again. Stand and hold the seat. Not 9 months, or maybe like 13 months. But me, I don't bother myself because I know I'm not the one that created you. When you like, walk. I won't be the one to be going to doctor and say, doctor, help me. This one started walking at 9 months. No. When you are ready, walk. At least the floor is there for you. So no 2 people have the same growth rate. But you know what we do in our careers? You'll be comparing. Why did they promote Lagbaja and leave me Tamedun? Is it your journey? Instead of you to sit down, compare yourself with yourself and say, Olayinka, and yesterday, you could only prepare this and this. Today, are you better than yesterday? Rather than facing, not minding your business. Let me just put it that way. That's another important thing to note. And I've never seen a child stop walking because he fell down. When they fall, what do? They stand up again and try again. And they keep trying until they're able to master how to walk. And that's the same thing with life. It is okay to fail, but it's not okay to quit. It is okay to fail or to fall down, but it's not okay to what? Stay down. Whenever you fail, failure is your friend. I've told you how failure has been my friend. If I had not failed JAMB 4 times, I won't know that even though I failed 4 times, I can still pass again. Do you know? Because these are experiences, lessons that nobody can teach you. If I had not been denied of, let's say, prizes before, I won't know that it's still possible, to win prizes again. And the funny thing is that the people that succeed, they call them, I have a video, famous failures. Let's look at the famous failures. Let's look at the caliber of people they call famous failures. What people had called them. All right. Are we ready?
After being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much. Was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. Fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. At age 11, he was cut from his team after being diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, which made him smaller in stature than most kids his age. At 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being unceremoniously removed from the company he started. A high school dropout whose personal struggles with drugs and poverty culminated in an unsuccessful suicide attempt. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything and that he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Rejected by Decca Recording Studios, who said, "We don't like their sound. They have no future in show business." His first book was rejected by 27 publishers. His fiancée died, failed in business, had a nervous breakdown, and was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new.
So, do you want to be a famous failure? Do you want to be a famous failure? Do you know what failure means? That you are doing something new. Can you see the profile of those people? And I'm sure it's only the end you remember when they mention Oprah Winfrey. It's only the end thing that you remember. When they mention Thomas Edison, it's only the end. Abraham Lincoln, it's only the end. But there is a process to it. And there's nothing wrong with being a failure. You should be proud. You know, if there's something you've tried and you are learning, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't be too big to fail. Don't be too what? Proud to fail. When we talk about career, you need to nurture it with patience, consistency, and focus. All right? Your career is like planting a seed on the ground. When you plant a seed on the ground, before it sprouts up, it first of all dies. All right? Takes its root downwards and then grows upward. The time at which you are not seeing anything on the surface of the ground does not mean nothing is working. If you are impatient and you uproot that dormant seed, you would have damaged that seed. Your career is the same thing. Because you are not seeing that something is working, or you are not seeing the plant sprout up, you are not yet in your dream organization, or you are not yet past your dream exam, does not mean that you are not making progress. It only means that, like the plant, you are taking your root downwards. And it is patience that will prevent you from uprooting the seed and say, you this seed, what's wrong with you? You don't immediately uproot the seed. You've damaged it. It may not grow again. And that's the same way we have to nurture our career. Every step that you take, learning, building relationships, practicing, your career, knowing more about it, staying committed is an act of nurturing that seed. And that's the same way a farmer, nurtures a seed. Today, I've told you how, I've passed various professional exams, 3 in all. But I didn't start today. So if you go on LinkedIn and you see my qualifications, Olayinka Oyetunji, CFA, FCA, ACS, and you start comparing yourself, that this thing, they're always oppressing people. Why is it that me, I don't have anything? Be whining. I started writing professional exams in 2001, 23 years ago. It's a process. Consistency. Focus. That's what you need. You don't wake up. You can't just wake up and have those 3 designations behind your name. You work for it. Okay. One thing about a plant is that when there's an obstruction is that when it's not able to face the sunlight, it grows towards the sunlight. Even though the sunlight is hot, it's uncomfortable, but it knows that it is through this sun that I will get my food and my energy. It's the same thing with challenges. Challenges are opportunities turned inside out. It is the same way as, professionals, that you should grow towards those things that we call challenges. Growing towards the light as a professional, growing towards the sunlight, is that you are seeking, look for those hard projects. When there are difficult projects to do at work, go for it, because that's the only way, you can build your skills. Look for mentors that will energize you. Build your expertise. That's growing towards. Don't just be comfortable. I'm done learning. I talked about Dr. Odiri. I mean, she's back so many. Why did she have to say, oh, I want to keep learning, I want to do this? Always strive for what? Excellence, you know? And I can tell you that there would always be obstructions. Obstructions are obstacles. But if you shy away from them, you will never grow. When I lost my job, and I eventually, after 9 months, one company in Lagos, then I was living in Ibadan, one company eventually said, okay, we'll give you an employment. And they gave me a conditional offer to say, because it's an asset management company, to say, okay, so we are going to hire you, but you need to give us a certain amount of deposit. And I spoke with my friends, and they all said, don't worry, we'll give you. On the day that I was supposed to bring the deposits, only 1 out of 5 gave me the deposit, and that was like 20% of the amount. And the rest switched off their phones. Yeah, they switched off their phones. And then I had a 9-month-old baby. My husband was the driver, I was at the back, and I was like, God, what am I going to do now? Am I going to let this opportunity go? After 9 months, so nobody else has called me. After the 9 months, I was like, let me give it a try. Let me just go. And then when I got to the company that wanted to hire me, I met the DMD and the MD in the lobby. And I said, I've come to pick up my offer letters today, but unfortunately, all the people that promised me, they switched off. I'm just here to report. I don't know if there's still any opportunity for me. And the MD said, hire her. Yeah. That was how I got my breakthrough. Imagine that. Just imagine I got discouraged. And in life, you always have those windows of opportunities. If you don't take care of those opportunities, you would have lost. If not because I decided to go. I came to Lagos crying that day in the car with my baby at the back like, hey, God, what is this? If you knew you were not going to give me the deposit, I did not put a gun on your head to say, give me. You should have told me, and I would have looked for. Do you understand? But it's an obstacle. Imagine I didn't take that move. And you know why I was able to take that move? I've seen impossible things happen. Why? In my life, I've seen, maybe I can. That was why. And that's why I keep saying, please build your growth mindset. So, no glory without the stories. As I approach my last slide, I want to encourage you to find purpose in your challenges. Find purpose. When you are going through stuff, there's somebody as you are, like you don't appreciate that company you are working in. What am I doing? I'm just carrying fast. Somebody wants to be in that position. Appreciate that position that you are and find purpose in that opportunity. Do you know how I started C.L.E.A.N? I started C.L.E.A.N when I started teaching CFA. And I'll see my students failed once. They'll say they are not writing again. What do you mean? Only once? Just once? What do you mean? You know, and that's how I started that. No, there are some stories that need to be shared. That I entered your class with CFA. Don't you know how many times I appeared in CFA Institute to write exams? You know, so what I'm saying is just find purpose in the crisis because somebody is going to learn from it. And as I round off my presentation, I would like you to stand up and make this commitment to yourself. It's not by force, so, you know, if you decide to do something, you can do it. And make this commitment to yourself, all right? I would, at the count of 3, we take it together. Are we set? Yes. 1, 2, 3. I will call, and then you say it after me. I will develop a positive and growth mindset. I will embrace challenges and leverage them to grow. My career is the seed in my hands. And I will nurture it with patience, focus, and consistency. I will not in any way give up. I will keep trying until I achieve my goals. so that I can help and impact other people. Thank you very much for listening.